You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you to like this page and share it. I got a message for you, even something been on my mind. I want to share with you on this beautiful, beautiful day. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I want you to think about the fact that this is the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter. And I want you to think about finishing strong and preparing for 2023. And something that I'm encouraging you to do, and I want you to like this page and share it. I want you to ask yourself some questions, and just about three. One of them, where you are right now, is it what you anticipated when you started the year off? Is it in alignment with your resolutions? Because if you follow what I'm going to share with you, if you are willing to give up who you've been, the negative people, the thoughts, and the choices that's produced what you now have, if it does not measure up to your level of expectation, and you know, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. If you want to create a different outcome, you got to do some things differently. You got to change some relationships. You got to do what Celeste Johnson say, Operation Clean Slate. You got to get some people out of your life. You got to come out from among the people where you are. You know, people who earn 15, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, $100,000 a month don't hang out with people who earn $5,000 and $7,000 a month. No, you got to upgrade your relationships. One of the things when I began to understand the statement, come out from among them, I left Miami on a Greyhound bus. I had too many poor people in my life. Okay, family members and friends. I had to get out of there. Why? God said to Abraham, get up and go to a new land. Sometimes you've got to change where you are. A place, you got a place that is your place. Trust me on this. The things that I've accomplished, I would have never accomplished those things in Miami. I had to go to some other place. You have a divine place. And there are certain relationships you'll never, ever do anything with those people. Why? Because they're not the one. Where you are is your rightful place, where your thoughts, your thinking, and your choices have brought you. Where you can be is your true place. Come on, somebody. I'm coming. Just slow down. Just slow down. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yeah. I mean, think about it. It's this fourth quarter. And so you want to look at your life and say, wait a minute, what got me here? Because you don't want to get to the end of 2022 and say, oh my God, I didn't do all the things that I was capable of doing. No. Evaluate, because there are certain places, there are certain choices, there's certain behaviors, there's certain people that you just don't need to be a part of your life. Let me give you an example in my own life. Like, for instance, I got up this morning and I take the medication that they had placed me on. Notice I didn't say my medication. I'm not claiming it. The medication they put me on. My goal before the end of the year is to be off all medication. What major goal do you have before the end of the year so that you can look back and say that 2022 brought out the best in you? I'm not asking you to have 4 and 5 different things that you're focused on. I'm just saying to you and just requesting what major area of your life in mine. I'm focusing on my health, mine making cancer history, mine getting off all this medication. I've been able to get off my insulin. Why? Because I'm focused. I want you to put down focus. Focus on one thing that's important to you, one thing that will make a dramatic difference in your life, one thing that when you accomplish that, you can pat yourself on the shoulder and say, I've done good. Because at the end of the day, life is about choices. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve. But most of us, and I'm using myself as an example, for a long time, I was just coasting toward an accelerated end. I just decided I'm going to be mindful. I don't want to take medication for the rest of my life. I don't want to be sticking myself for the rest of my life. Then what are you going to do about it? I dramatically began to focus and tune everything else out, saying my health is my wealth. That sounds nice, rhymes, nice. And I'm backing it up with action. I'm mindful of what I eat. I'm mindful of my state of mind. I'm mindful of my peace. What is it you're going to do? What differently? How you're going to show up? We're in the fourth quarter. And I want you to write this down. It's time to close chapters and turn the page. Come on, somebody. Yes, it's time. There's some chapters you need to close. They've gone beyond their expiration date. Some people come in your life for a season, some for a reason, and some for a lifetime. And when I made a list of the people that I communicate with, there's some calls I don't take anymore. Why? Because it's a gimme call. Yeah. That if you look at it, the majority of your calls are gimme calls. There's a limited number of people saying, hey, I got something for you. Just look at the ratio. Look at it. Evaluate it. There are people who are always there when they need you. Life ain't playing with us, and we don't need to be playing with life. Come on, I'm telling you, I'm not making this stuff up. Life is for laughing, loving, and living. It doesn't have to be all that complicated. I'm telling you, this is the time you don't want people who get on your last nerve and stress you out being around you or in your ear. Come out from among them. And don't try to change them. A person changed against their will is of the same opinion still, that they are okay just as they are. You have no right to weigh in on how they live their lives. I don't care if it's your children or your family members, friends. No, people got a choice. That's what God has given us all, a choice. And their choices, a friend of mine, Patricia Wingard out of Columbus, Ohio, the choices and consequences. Listen to me. Listen to the old rascal. Yes, I've been on the planet for 77 years. I know some stuff. Now listen, I'm looking for some people. I'm looking for the few. This is not for everybody. I'm just looking for the few. You know what I decided to do? What did you decide to do? I'm going to build a culture of greatness. People who have goals and dreams, people who want to do something dramatically different with their lives, who want to finish the year strong, people who want to get a jump start on 2023, people who have things that they want to accomplish to improve their health, improve their relationships, get a game plan and a blueprint on how they can begin to bring out the greatness in them. If that's you, touch the link above. That's all. It's not for everybody. It's because, see, and here's something that we must learn to do, and it's not easy. Learn how to become an observer. I've learned how, and it took some time because they call me an empath. Most people, ladies and gentlemen, won't participate in their own rescue. I have a friend, I sent some videos on people who've made dramatic changes in their lives and who had lost a lot of weight, and they had instructions on how they did it. So I sent this to a friend of mine, way over 400 pounds. You know she asked me, are you calling me fat? I said, no. I didn't call you nothing. I just sent you some stuff that I thought maybe that you might be interested in. No, I did not call you fat. And I'm saying to myself, did this person ask me that question? This person who came to my house and sat in the chair, and the chair broke and said, oh, hell no. The chair broke. The chair said, what the hell's going on here? I'm sorry. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, you can't make this. Anywho. I'm sorry. I'm having a hot flash. I call it my power surge. So if you like to have fun, if you want to learn how I earned my first million against all odds, you ever hear politicians talk about the middle class? They never talk about the 1%. They don't want you to become the 1%. I'm a part of the population who's earned over $1 million. That's just 1% of the population's done that. I've done that. You come into the community, if you give me 1 year with you, see, your network, and George Frazier said this best, your network determines your net worth. Did you hear what I just said? Your network determines your net worth. And when you're in a community with me, with like-minded people, people that are focused on their dreams and improving themselves, people who are tuning out the negative, toxic behavior and people that will compromise your power. We have energy, all of us. Not energy, if you don't use it well, it will work against you. If you use it well, it will help you to take responsibility for your life and create the kind of life that you're proud of. I'm telling you what I know. And if that's you, come on, join me. Can we see the comments? You can put that down now. You see comments? Have them ask me some questions about something. So if you got a story and you want to be a part of the community, because we're going to share with you strategies and how to tell your story, how to monetize your story, how I got from zero to hero. I love these little things that rhyme. They are so cute. Whatever. If you want to learn techniques and strategies and how you can become more influential and impactful in your style of communication, if you want to learn how to talk to the world, I can teach you how to do that. I've been around the world, and all I had going for me was my story. And if you're ready to do something with your story, make a difference, push humanity forward, a story that can help people understand that where they are does not have to become their destiny. Push the link and join my community, the Les Brown Greatness Community. Yes, it's going to dramatically change your income, change the quality of your life. You're going to upgrade your relationships, and you're going to let some relationships go. Why? Life is like an elevator. The higher you go up, you have to stop and let some people off because they don't want what you want. They don't dream like you dream. I remember in Chicago, I used to give this lecture at Christ Universal Temple Church, and I saw this guy come, and his wife was seated on one side, and he was on the other. And I asked him, I said, man, why aren't you over there with your wife? He said, well, she left me because she said, I don't want anything. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. And as I was approaching her, she said, I heard what he said. She said, I didn't leave him because he didn't want anything. I left him because he wasn't willing to do the things necessary to grow so we can create a different kind of life than what we had. He'd settled for where we are. And I know we can do better. He's smart, he's intelligent, but he doesn't have hunger. He doesn't have drive. He doesn't have perseverance. He doesn't want any more than what we now have. And I don't want to settle for that. I know we can do better than this. And I'm tired of arguing. Have you ever just got tired of arguing with someone that's supposed to be leading you, and they're in the back doing nothing but the same thing over and over and over again? Have you ever looked at where you are and just said, this is not me? That's what I did in Miami, in Liberty City, Overtown. I just said, look, Good Bread Alley and Bucket the Blood, the expressway goes through that now. That's gone. I just said, there's got to be more. Let me see some signs. Let me see some fire. Have you ever said there's got to be more? I remember cleaning homes and cleaning apartments on Miami Beach. And I just said, one day I'm going to be able to stay here, not just come over here to clean up. Woo! And I've stayed in several places, several condos, hotels, and whatsoever you can think of. See, life is about having the courage to make your life a daring adventure. Live before you die. Life ain't playing with us. Decide that you're going to take life on. Stormy, I like to refer to her as Dr. Stormy Wellington. She had an event this past weekend for women. Girl, hold my hand. And it was an eye-opener. It was one that caused the women there to dream a bigger dream. Most people don't have any dreams at all. They're just working to survive. What it takes to live and what it is required for surviving are two different things. These are people who said, I'm taking a chance on me. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm reaching for the greater in me. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. I'm willing to upgrade my relationships. I'm willing to step away from the life that I've been living so that I can begin to create the life that I deserve. Have you ever seen people and you ask yourself the question, how can they live like that? Here's what I learned. When you stay in a toxic, negative environment over a long period of time, you have to ask yourself the question, what kind of person have I become because of this? Because that abnormal environment will become your new normal. You stay there long enough, you won't even realize at some point in your life you'd have found that repulsive. I had an apartment that I had near the airport, and I rented it from a friend of mine, Jackie Collier. And I said, girl, I can't stay here. Listen to these airplanes coming over constantly. She said, you stay here long enough, I guarantee you won't hear it. She did not lie. And people who would come visit me said, how can you stay here and these airplanes flying constantly, don't you hear it? And I said, no, because I'd been there so long, I had tuned it out. You can be in an abusive relationship so long that it becomes your new normal. You can be in a situation and an environment that's beneath you, and you be there so long that it becomes you. It's one thing to be in something, it's something else when that something gets in you. The only people that can hear me are the people who said in their heart of hearts, and where your heart is, there your treasures also, I can do better than this. If that's you, if you're on fire to go to another level, push the link on above. You just give me 1 year with your life and I guarantee you, you'll never be the same again. No, I owe it to you. I owe it to you. I know, I don't know how much time I have left, but I know God did not have me to be born and preserved for such a time as this, just to go to my grave and take everything I've learned with me. He who has ear, let him hear, let her hear. I'm just speaking to the few. Did you hear me? I am speaking to the few. What are you hungry for? I wanted to be my own boss everywhere I work because of the politics
I got fired. Some things happen to you, some things happen for you. Had I not been fired from WVKO radio station, had I not been fired, I would have never became a state legislator. Had I not been fired, I'd never produced specials for public television. Had I not been fired, I'd have never been paid $5 million to do a talk show by King World. Had I not been fired, I would have never been able to resign from the Ohio legislature and go back to Mamie to take care of my mother. I promised her that she would not end up in a nursing home. She used to work in a nursing home and never wanted to go. I remember my sister calling me, "Leslie, are you sitting down? What's wrong with Mama? Mama has breast cancer. It's terminal." I said, "I'll be right there. You don't have to come. You got nice nursing homes here in Dade County." "Listen to me. No, I'm coming." I left immediately, my political ambitions, everything, and I rung the doorbell. A friend of hers named Mildred was there. She came to the door. "Whoa, Mildred said, "Mamie, Leslie's here. Leslie's here." And I heard my mother say, "I knew he would come. I knew my boy would come." Is there somebody that you love? Somebody that is so important to you that if something happened to them, they can count on your being there, of your showing up? What do you think about that? I want you to put voice in the comments section, because it allows you to control your own personal economy. It allows you to create your own job. See, a job is what you get paid for. Your calling is what you are made for. 86% of Americans go to jobs that they hate. And at the same time, they don't want to get fired. That's what you call mixed emotions. Seeing somebody you hate drive off a cliff in your car. You sad that they're gone, but not, you're glad that they're gone, but not in your car. Couldn't they do something else? Use a bicycle or something? To drive off a cliff, not in your car. You glad they're gone, though. Let me tell you something. This thing called life. Helen Keller had a point. Life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. Bet on you. Tomorrow's not promised. If we don't know anything else, we know that the coronavirus has taught us how fragile life is. Don't leave here doing something that's not you. Take a chance on you. Give yourself a chance. I wrote the quote, "Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars." My brothers and sisters, they thought I was crazy. And I am. Sometimes you gotta be out of your mind. Let that mind be in you. See, if there's gotta be another mind in you, then you got to be out of your mind, because that mind is not serving you. I want you, if you'd like to work with me, if you've heard my voice since you were a kid, and it touched you, it touched your heart, it expanded your vision of what was possible. If you were in a dark place and you just didn't think you could make it. William Hollis said to me, he's got a motivational message he put together, and I encourage you to get it. It's called, "I didn't come this far to come this far." He called me Pops. And let me share something with you. He's a bad boy up in here. And he said he was homeless and he heard my voice. I became his spiritual father. He heard my voice. And it brought him through a very difficult time. Jose Flores. Jose, he said, don't let your limitations become your standard. And Jose, who is bound in a wheelchair, but buddy, he's now motivating in and speaking to corporations and individuals and inspiring them, even though he's confined to a wheelchair, quadriplegic. His beautiful wife, Adrian. You're still here. There's so much more in you. Simba, you are more than that which you have become. This is not for everybody, though. At this stage of my life, at 75, I'm looking for people that are hungry. I'm looking for people who say, Les Brown, I'm the one. That's what I told Mr. Washington. You go and you look at Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. You go all the way to the end. I followed him and told him when he got through speaking to some seniors in the auditorium at Booker T. Washington High School. I was a junior. I followed him down the steps. My mother was working in the cafeteria at this time. I said, "Sir, do you remember me?" "No." I said, "My name is Leslie Brown. My mother, Miss Mamie Brown, she works in the cafeteria. I'm a twin. I was in your class looking for MacArthur Stevens, and they called me DT, and I agreed with them, the dumb twin. And you came and looked at me and said, 'Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.'" And I was startled. I said, "Do you remember me now?" He said, "Yes." And I said, you said to them that they can make the school proud. They can make their families proud if they realize that they have greatness in them." I said, "I was there, but you're not a senior. You're a junior." I said, "I know, but I heard your voice, and I felt like you were talking to me." I said, can I make my mother proud?" He said, "Yes." I said, "But what about the fact that I failed math and English and history and going to summer school for the 5th straight year?" He said, "Your grades don't determine who you are. You just have to work harder." And he turned to walk away. I said, "Mr. Washington?" He said, "What is it now? You said if just one person heard your voice, that your being brought here from Stuart, Florida would not have been in vain." He said, "Yes." I said, "I'm the one, sir. I am the one." He said, "It's possible, Mr. Brown." He turned and walked away. I said, "Remember my name. I'm the one, sir. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and one day you're going to hear my name again. I'm the one." And I'm sure he just dismissed it. You see the video, Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I'm not going to end it for you, but it tells the full story. Here's what I'm saying. Some things happen to you. Some things happen for you. Keep the faith, baby. As Adam Clayton Powell, great congressman out of New York, once said. Keep the faith. Faith that has never been tested can't be trusted. Keep the faith, baby. Judge not according to appearances. Keep the faith, baby. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. Keep the faith, baby. He said, "I'll give you whatever you desire." Keep the faith, baby. I'll give you all that your eyes can see. Hold the vision of what you want to create. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Keep the faith, baby. Use your superpower, your power voice. A lot of people caught up in the drama, the politics, and all the stuff that's going on. Don't worry about what's going on in the White House. Worry about what's going on in your house. Because at the end of the day, you're only 6 inches from success. That's the distance from this ear to this ear. Develop your mind. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Most people are witnesses. They're watching television. They're fans. You want to be a player? Kid and play. I'm kid. You want to be a player? You want to be the person who stands for something, who will live a life that will outlive them? Let me work with you to develop your power voice. Let me shorten your learning curve. Let me share with you how I came from nothing to get here. You're watching me because you know in your heart of hearts what I've done, you can do plus more. Put voice in the comment section. There's somebody that you know that needs to hear this message. I want you to like this page and share it. Like it and share it. But I'm not just looking for anybody. I'm ready to close this thing out. I'm just looking for people that are hungry, that are serious, that are coachable. Because most people aren't. Most people don't know that they don't know, and they think they know. One of the worst things in the world to deal with. Arrogance and ignorance. People who don't know and they think they know. Oh, behave, whatever. You have so much more to express. You're still here. Every day is a great day, as Orrin Hudson would say. If you don't believe it, try missing one. If you're ready to make more money, if you're ready to be your own boss, if you're ready to generate and control your own personal economy, if you're ready to advance your career, if you're ready to run for office and make a greater impact and to live a life that will outlive you, be a policy maker, put voice in the comment section. If you have some skills, some knowledge, you're a speaker, trainer, coach, and you want to make yourself stand out. Name of the game today is attention. How to get attention, how to create an experience to hold the attention, and how to direct the attention. That's the name of the game. Put voice in the comment section. People are rushing to become a part of our training program, the leading program on the planet. I do it. I control it. I direct it. And if you can find somebody who's come from where I've come from and done what I've done and overcame what I overcame, I encourage you. Do it with them. Got somebody who can do it and accomplish what I have accomplished, becoming a dominant force in this industry, my hat goes out to you. This is not for everybody that I do. The Power Voice system. He who has ear, let him hear. If you could hear me in your heart, this is your time. You watch me up to this point, you know in your heart of hearts, these things ye shall do, and greater things shall ye do. You're ready for the greater work. Put voice in the comment section. Do it now. Don't put it off. Oh, I can't afford to do it. You can't afford not to do it. You know, people are talking about, how much does it cost? Don't worry about how much does it cost. Ask yourself the question. The guy asked me, how much will it cost you if you don't do it? Had I not bet on me, had I not put my money where my mouth is, oh my God, it had cost me millions of dollars, literally. The clients I've had, AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric, IBM, it had cost me millions of dollars, and the lives that I could have transformed had I not bet on me. Everybody being practical and logical and reasonable say You're wasting your time. There are over 3,000 members of the National Speakers Association. Sometimes in life, you've got to be unreasonable. That's why we're taught to walk by faith and not by sight. That's why we're taught to call forth those things that be not as though they were. Judge not according to appearances, but right judgment, right thoughts, right feelings, right emotions, right relationships, and right vision. Yeah, let everybody else follow all the drama that's going on. He said, I'll keep thee in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, not on thee in the drama. Drama will always be here. Always. Three kinds of people that will come out of this period where we are. There's a reckoning going on. There's a reckoning going on. Benjamin Franklin said nothing will change until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are affected. There's some good-hearted people who now see, whoa, these people weren't making this up. Wow. Oh my God. Who would have thought? These people have been getting away with murder, judge, jury, and executioner. That's not American. But you know what I found? Hate is more important and more powerful than many people's religious values, the sense of morality. Hate. It's more important. Isn't that interesting? How they hold the Bible. They don't read, as a man thinketh, so is he. As he continues to think, so he remain. The least that you do unto these, my brethren, you do it also unto me. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. Stand up for something. I had a saying when I was on WVKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio. Stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything. And there are people right now. Just look around. Just look around. Oh my goodness. It's amazing. Don't try and figure it out. You can't figure out crazy. You can't do that. No. Leave it alone. Keep thine eyes single. Live your life to the fullest. Live a life that will outlive you, because you can. You were chosen out of 400 million sperm. You're a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. I'm looking for a few hungry people. We will vet you. And I'm 75, so I don't have patience for foolishness. I'm looking for people that are positive, that are passionate, that are coachable, that will listen, that's ready to be introduced to a part of themselves that they don't know. See, you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. Sometimes you need somebody to facilitate that process. You can't get there by yourself. All of us at different points in our lives, like what former heavyweight champion Joe Frazier said, like a blind man standing on a corner waiting for someone to lead him across the street. All of us have had our moments in the Garden of Gethsemane. Millions of people right now going through a tough time, nervous, can't sleep at night, fearful of being evicted or foreclosed on, or losing their jobs, can't get a good night's sleep. And your voice, the voice of hope, your voice, your story, the things that you've overcome and the things that you've gone through can become their guide, their survival guide to navigate these times where we are. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. He said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. Keep in mind, God's still in control.
What would you say is, who was the most influential person in your life growing up?
My mother. Because I remember a reporter asked her when I had a talk show years ago in 1992, how did you know you could raise 7 children by yourself and you never had any kids? And she said, I just believe the Lord will make a way somehow. And one of the things I say to people, don't discount yourself. I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because I didn't believe being labeled educable mentally retarded, failing in the 5th grade, put back to the 4th grade, and no college education, that I can compete with people with PhDs and MBAs. And so for 14 years, a lot of people say they have no regrets. The biggest regret that I have, that I disapproved of myself for 14 years. And then, there's a coincidence, it's God's way of staying anonymous. I went to a training and a guy was speaking. And Mike Williams had already said, hey, Brownie, you know why you go see Zig Ziglar and Dr. Robert Schuller and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking? I said, because I like the message. He said, no. He said, you like to help people. That's in you. You're always holding court here at the radio station. And you got a funny laugh, man. I said, I do? He said, yes. And so he just kept saying that to me. And I was at an event, and a guy was speaking, and it just stopped, like a spell came over him. He said, there's somebody here who should be doing this. He said, I do it because I make a lot of money. And he said, I love to make money. He said, but you want to change lives, and you can make money too, young man, young lady. And he said, you know who you are. And then he paused again. He said, the reason I'm standing up here holding this microphone and you are seated out there, I represent the thoughts you have rejected for yourself. That hit me right between the eyes. I began to cry. At that time, this is in 1980. Wow. I went outside. I called Mike Williams. The telephone call was a dime then. I said, Mike. He said, yes. I said, I'm not rejecting myself anymore. Do you hear me? He said, Brownie, calm down. Listen to me, man. I'm not rejecting myself anymore. I said, will you help me? One of the things I teach, ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help. And don't stop until you get it. He's a strategist. And he came down to Liberty City when I was there. I was elected to the Ohio legislature. I was the chairman of the Human Resource Committee, the Education Committee. I passed 14 bills my first term. Wow. And I resigned to come back to take care of my mother. I refused to allow my brothers and sisters to put her in a nursing home. They said, oh, we found a nice nursing home. I said, oh, hell no. She raised us. We're going to take care of her. And so I gave up my political ambitions. And then I was trying to find something that I can do that will allow me to be available to her and earn money too. And so I moved into this area of motivational speaking and took care of her until she passed. Wow.
What would you say? Now, you didn't have a father figure growing up? Or
No. I had a sperm donor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I've never known my birth mother or father. And
still to this day,
mother, no, and I never did a search. My mother's Mamie Brown. I used to have a talk show, and I said, "This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy." Her love was so encompassing. I never wanted to do a search for my birth parents. After she passed, I became curious because when I had a talk show, I asked a young lady, I was doing something on adoption, and I said, "What has been most challenging part of your life experience of being adopted?" I'm adopted too. And she said, "My birthday." I said, "Why?" She said, "On my birthday, I know that my mother thinks about me." And I said, whoa. I left the show, went and called my twin brother. I said, "Wesley." He said, "What?" I said, "Do you know what?" He said, "What?" I said, "Do you know our mother think about us every February the 17th? He said, "You called me about that?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You need to do some damn push-ups and hug up." He said he hated him. I said, "How can you hate our parents? We don't even know them. We don't have a face. We don't have a target to hate.
he said, I hate him, and hung up again. Yeah, so that just never moved me. It's just, I am just, when people saw me as a kid, they called me Mamie's boy, because my mother could talk to a tree. She was very friendly and outgoing person. She loved children, but she never had any herself.
What would you say is the greatest lesson that your father taught you, even though you never met him?
I don't know. I mean,
with his absence, is there lessons?
I gave at Father's Day. I gave my mother a Father's Day card. I used to be on radio in Chicago, and Father's Day, I said, I'm doing an event for fathers who provide and protect, and I'm inviting mothers who serve as fathers and leave the sperm donors at home. That was very controversial, but we had a full house. I never thought about that, because she was strong, she had faith, she was unstoppable, she was relentless. My mother, she made a way out of no way. I saw her go through some challenging experience, raising 7 children by herself. She, when she couldn't work anymore, had arthritis, she wrote numbers and sold moonshine and homebrew, and she went to jail for a period of time, and she only had a 3rd grade education, but she had a PhD when it came to life. And I was 10. I became a man then. And so I remember when I was with her, when she passed on my youngest son's birthday. And I remember holding her hand when she took her last breath. And I said, I thank you for choosing us. I never felt that I was given away. I always felt that I was chosen with love. And I said, I'm going to make you proud that you chose us. So when I speak, I think about her and the tough times we went through. And I tell people, you're going to face tough times. My favorite book says, think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. But I affirm, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. And I heard her say that she was determined we will always have a roof over our head, food on the table, and clothes on our back. And she was able to make a way out of no way. And so she has always been my father and my mother figure. That's all I know. Mr. Washington was a surrogate father for me. I've got some young men who they see me as their spiritual father, and he taught me, Mr. Brown, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Mr. Brown, practice OQP, only quality people. Who you run with determines who you end up with. Mr. Brown, yes sir, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And so he became like a surrogate father. I watched how he dressed. As you look at me, I have navy blue, I have a red tie and a white shirt, and that's how he dressed when he went to school. You go to schools now, you can't tell the students from the teachers. Okay, yes. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, sounds like an amazing mother.
Yes, she was an
parents.
amazing, very amazing parent. Yes,
Wow.
she was.
What would you say is the greatest lesson she taught you?
Never give up. I remember when she was very ill, and she, at that time, doctors would come to the house, Dr. Johnson, and he said, Mamie, you hold on now. And she said, I will, because I can't leave these children here by themselves. So she wasn't even thinking about herself. She was thinking about us. And so when I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was like 6 years ago in Orlando, the oncologist said that cancer metastasized to 7 areas of my body. I started smiling, and this guy said, did you hear what I just said? I said, yes. He said, are you in denial? I said, man, do you know 7 is my lucky number. I said, that cancer's getting the hell beat out of it now. He said, you are crazy. And so at that time, my PSA was 2,400. Now it's 0. And I'm about to get a new procedure next week where they draw out your white blood cells and train them for 2 weeks and inject it back in you and give those white blood cells the capacity to identify cancer cells and kill them. So you see, all this stuff is just advanced, but your mindset, the biology of belief. You know, Bruce Lifton, I practice psychoneuroimmunology. Your mindset, your diet, and positive relationships, giving yourself a healing, nurturing environment strengthens your immune system and allows you to stay here longer and do your great work. One of the things I ask people when we're training, what's your strategy for being here? You have to have a game plan. Being here is not a given, and I don't think doctors should tell people that you're terminally ill. What I think they should say is, my knowledge and ability to help you has terminated. Now you need to explore some other options.
Right.
To me, one of the most important things and the first step in changing lives is to have a program for yourself. When I started on this path, that was what my goal was to change me, given my circumstances. I think that, you know, psychologists say that we create a mental blueprint between the ages of 1 and 5, that between that time, we determine what's available for us and what's not available for us. And so, given my circumstances, being born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida, I became interested in a path of developing myself. I remember shining the shoes of Mr. Sidursky, this man that my mother worked for, very wealthy, on Miami Beach. She cleaned his home and she cooked for the family and kept the children. And he listened to motivational messages. Unbeknownst to me, that was programming my mind, and it created a thirst within me to get on this path. I remember listening to Earl Nightingale, who said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And so to me, reading became an out. It became a tool that I used to develop myself. And not just reading for enjoyment, but reading for personal growth, reading to look at those things that I read and to apply them in my lives. And I would read sometimes at night 60, 100 pages a night, sometimes a whole book. And then I would underline the book and I would think about them, I would memorize them, and then I would apply them. I would try them out. Because one of the things he said, they did a study of some top achievers and leaders around the world, over 3,000, to find out what was the common denominator among them that enabled them to reach their goals. And here's what they did, that 85% of them reached their goals because of their attitude, 15% because of their aptitude. Now, to me, that was big, because I was in special education. I was labeled educable mentally retarded. So I said, whoa, that means I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. That if I have a winner's attitude, that I've got a shot, that I could make it, that I don't have to live a life of being average. I wanted to live a life of meaning, of purpose. Being adopted, I wanted to do something for my mother. And so by listening to motivational messages and reading on a regular basis, it really taught me the value of using your time to work on yourself, to develop yourself, to really restructure your belief system for what was possible for you. It really expanded my vision of myself. And so to me, that's what it means about mass appeal, because I was working on myself. Then I started sharing it with others, and I noticed the difference in them. And I shared with them the things that I was doing because they saw the difference in me. And it's been said that a career is something you love so much you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. So as I talked with and shared with my friends what I was doing and what was possible for them, I eventually evolved into this life of where I am. And as a result, I carved out a market for myself. And because this is my passion, this is what I've spent the majority of my life doing, I've developed a level of expertise, a level of strength and power and reputation in this area that created a demand for myself.